I'm struggling to relax in my day as I'm apprehensive that a self-tape request will pop up, which I'm grateful for. But I've started to get anxious. I had a self-tape request a few months ago, had 2 hours to get it done. Yes, very short notice, but I made it in time and now I can't relax. I'm constantly checking my phone in case I miss deadlines. This exact message was shared in a group from an actress and it got so many comments, I just knew I had to do an episode on this. So that is what we are covering today. You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? I cannot wait to deep dive into this topic because it's a juicy one. And I just know that so many of you stress about your time management and how you're going to juggle everything when it comes to self-tapes. Never mind the ones that come where you've literally got a 2-hour window to get it submitted, which 2 hours from the self-tape request to learning the lines to doing the character prep to actually filming it, editing it and subbing it. Whoa! I mean, that in and of itself is causing me anxiety just saying it. Never mind actually experiencing it. So even with those self-tapes where we've got longer than 2 hours, which we really should have longer than 2 hours, but even with those self-tapes where we've got 5 days, 3 days, a week to prep them, we can still struggle to manage time. Time management is something that has been coming up a lot at Standby. So our students in the Method Actors Circle, I've spoken about it a lot. Our students in the 10-week Method Acting modules have spoken about it a lot, and it's got spoken about in our Unstoppable Actors group as well. So it's definitely something we need to address right here, right now, to get some good time management tools up our sleeves. And no, time management is not sexy. It's not the sexy part of acting, is it? Let's be honest. We just want to pick up a script. We want to play out characters in scenes. We want to be auditioning. We want to be on set. We want to be on stage. We want to be getting signed by agents and getting emails saying, yeah, you've got another audition request. We want all of that, but none of that falls into place and makes us feel confident and happy and relaxed and at ease if we don't know how to manage our time. So I am going to come at this from a few different angles, because how do we juggle everything? How do we relax? How do we juggle everything? How do we get these self-tapes in with life in a way where we can approach it in a relaxed manner, knowing we've still got life going on in the background? You know, we've got the cat throwing up from eating too many biscuits. The plants haven't been watered for weeks and they're starting to shrivel up and look brown. I've missed the gym for the last few days. And then, there's that small fact of having a day job or being a carer or being a parent or whatever it is for you. So how do we juggle everything? We're going to look at this from the stress and the anxiety, that point of view. We're going to look at it from time management, and then we're also going to look at it from boundaries, because these three little sort of offshoots all tie in to these last minute self-tapes. So we're going to be exploring this from 3 different angles. And my aim is, by the end of this episode, I really hope you are feeling more confident, more assured, clearer. I think that's the key thing as well. And ready to tackle these self-tapes in a way where you can manage everything and you feel at ease. Now, before I do, I just want to share with you that we have had so many actors joining our Unstoppable Actors Facebook group. It's just been so exciting. The buzz in that group right now is brilliant. It's off the charts. So if you've not already joined our Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, please do. There's loads of activities for you to get involved with, things like business of acting activities, the craft of acting, obviously to do with method acting. We've got mindset stuff in there. We've got networking. We've got all sorts. It's a brilliant place to be. And then we've also had a flurry of people, a flurry of actors, should I say, who are loving the high vibe of the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group so much that they want more, and they are joining the Method Actors Circle, which is honestly the next step up from the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group. It's a brilliant, brilliant place to be. It's, you know, in the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, I can't hands-on coach you, but in the Method Actors Circle, I can, and I do it through audition classes, character development classes, and for those of you who enroll before or on the 29th of February, you also unlock access to a VIP casting class that will be happening in March with an amazing casting director. And it's only £27 for all 3 of those classes, which is insane value. So I want to share with you something that Karina wrote inside of our Facebook group after she did the character development class on this Sunday that's just gone. So the character development class is a 4-hour class. And in that particular one, the February one, we were looking into character activities. And I had some brilliant exercises for them to do to help them really make that deeper connection to the character and to then create depth in the scene and a lot of truth. And it really banished overthinking, which is what a lot of actors are suffering from. And this is why the Method Actor Circle was set up. So after the class, she jumped straight into the Facebook group and she said, Louise O'Leary, using my full name, thank you so much for this amazing class tonight. It was absolutely incredible, inspiring, and so much fun. And then she's put the emoji with the stars as the eyes. I've learned a lot that will definitely help me with future scenes. I really enjoyed the class. Thank you for coaching us tonight. Your feedback is always so valuable. I feel so inspired now. Oh, messages like that or posts like that just put the biggest smile on my face ever, because I know that this is the work that Karina and all the other members of the Method Actor Circle are going to be using when it comes to auditions, when it comes to being on set, when they've got cast. And these are the exercises that are going to help them propel and accelerate their career. So I would love to invite you to come along so you can access all of this and also that VIP casting class. You just need to go to this link, bit.ly/the Method Actors Circle, all in lowercase, or you can just go to the show notes, the description of the podcast, and click the link that's there. And oh God, I would absolutely love to coach you. I want to coach you because the vibes in the class is, it's just next level. Everyone's making breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough, and they're making mistakes as well, but we're celebrating them. And then after the mistakes comes the breakthroughs. It is such an exciting place to be, and you'll just feel incredible and so confident after the classes, just like Karina said. So let's go back to the episode then. How are we going to manage our time to fit in last-minute self-tapes? So as I've already said, we're going to approach this from 3 different points of views because I believe that it's a nuanced subject. So just to remind you, we've got the stress and anxiety part of it that we're going to look at. We've got the time management part, which I know is boring, but it's crucial. And then we've also got to look at boundaries. So this actress got a self-tape request and had 2 hours to do everything, as I've already said earlier on. 2 hours to learn the lines, do the character prep, record it, edit it, send it. I mean, that is not the norm in the industry. I just want to reassure you, it is not the norm for a 2-hour turnaround. That is very, very, very rare. And I am going to come to that when we come to boundaries, but let's break it down and look at stress and anxiety first. So what I want to do is I want to caveat this with me not being a therapist. I am not a therapist. I am not a psychologist. I don't have any qualifications in those. I'm a geek when it comes to psychology and the nervous system, and I love learning about these things. And as I've already said, I absolutely do geek out on them, and I'm very well read on these subjects. But I just want to say, if you know you need professional help when it comes to stress and anxiety, then please go and seek professional help. There's literally no shame in this at all. And I can absolutely recommend therapists who work specifically with actors, and I can recommend them inside of our Unstoppable Actors Facebook group. But here's what I do know about stress and anxiety. What will have happened with this actress is 2 hours is obviously a very short amount of time to have to do all of that work. And she's obviously had to move things, shift things around from a day-to-day life. So her nervous system will have been activated. And when I talk about the nervous system being activated, what I mean by that is it's been taken into the stress response of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode. So fawn, which is what I'm taking an educated guess at, which is what has happened with this actress, is people pleasing. So she's gone into people pleaser mode because she's thought, shit, this is a self-tape, it's my career, I want to do really well, I want to show that I'm reliable, I want to show that I'm committed and disciplined. These are all good qualities in her, absolutely. But it has, because there's only been 2 hours for all of this to be done, it has activated the nervous system and took her into phone people pleasing. Now, what that means is she's unable to think clearly, because there's a part of your brain called the amygdala. Don't worry if all these big words are going over your head. Do go with me on this, but you don't need to remember them. But the amygdala is the part of the brain which is responsible for being the bird's eye view on emotions. So it has like an overview of what's going on, and it's almost like the rational mind. Now, what's happened in this case is that's gone offline. Because, and again, I'm going to throw out another big word, but don't worry if it makes no sense to you, I'll try and break it down. That's because the sympathetic nervous system has been activated. So now the amygdala, the part that rationalizes things and is the bird's eye view over emotions, has just switched off. So what's happened here is she's developed a story around self-tapes, and she's developed a story around, and this could be conscious or unconscious, around being committed to a career. The story around self-tapes is obviously, because she's had this stressful experience, is now why she's stressing out about future self-tapes that have not even happened. So she's doing something called catastrophizing. Catastrophizing is where we're thinking in the future and we're thinking of the worst thing possible that could go wrong. So she has developed this story based on this experience because it was highly emotional and stressful that all self-tapes are going to be the same, which is why she's constantly checking her emails. So she's created a belief that all future self-tapes are going to be stressful and they're all going to be thrown on her last minute, and she's only going to have 2 hours, or maybe she might even be thinking she's going to have less to get all of this done. And that's a normal reaction. That is a normal reaction from your nervous system, because your nervous system's job is to keep you safe. It is to get you to survive. However, this is not helpful for her, because what this means from a creative standpoint is when she actually does the self-tapes, she's going to be carrying all of that stress into the self-tape. So even if you don't remember any of these big words, even if you don't remember any of these big words, it doesn't matter. What you need to remember is if you're stressing out, part of your brain's shut down that can't rationalise, and you're bringing that stress into future self-tapes, which, as I talk about in many episodes, takes you into your misinformed imagination, your misguided imagination. So you've got 2 types of imagination. You've got your creative imagination, the one that's pure, and it is based purely off of what's going on in the given circumstances. And then you've got your misinformed or misaligned or malignant imagination, whatever you want to call it, and it's the one that stresses out. It's the one that is referred to as mental tension in method acting. Now, if she's going to continue to keep this story going, she's going to keep bringing mental tension into the self-tapes, which means she's not present with the character. It means she's not connecting as well as she could. She's not bringing the level of truth that she's capable of. So here is where we need to get present. And this is a psychological tool that I've learned from the holistic psychologist. And this is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And this is something you can do whenever you start to stress out about self-tapes. So as I've said, we're going to do the stress and the anxiety first, the time management, and then the boundaries. So this exercise will help you when you get stressed out. So what we do first of all is we recognise there is a feeling in the body. And in this case, with this actress, the feeling is stress and anxiety. So what we do is we put our hands on the body part where we're experiencing it. So let's say she's experiencing it, just for the case of this example, in a chest. She would put her hands on a chest and she would ask, what is the feeling? What is the feeling I'm experiencing right now physically in my body? And we know it's stress and it's anxiety, but it might be a feeling of tightness in the chest. It might be the heart racing in the chest. So now we've got present, we've physically put our hand where it is, and we've labelled what it is. And then with our hands still on our chest or whatever body part where the feeling is, we ask, what is the story in our head that's contributing to this? And I'm going to take an educated guess for the point of this example that the story in her head was probably along the lines of, I'm not going to get this in on time. It's not going to be my best work. I'm going to ruin my chances. I'm going to ruin my shot at this character. I'm going to let people down. I'm going to let myself down. It'd be something along those lines. So once she's asked what the story is in her head that's contributing to the feeling, this actually gets that amygdala that part of your brain that rationalizes things, it gets it back online. And it stops you getting caught up by doing these very simple things. It stops you getting caught up in a spiral with the emotions. So you stop spiraling, you get present, you get the amygdala back online. Again, that's the bit that helps you gain perspective over your emotions. And you're back in the present moment and you recognize, oh, actually, there's just a story running in my head now that's contributing to these feelings, and I've broken that. And there's not really that much truth in what I'm saying. It's a very simple yet powerful technique. And this is what I encourage my students to do, both inside the Method Actor Circle and the 10-week method acting modules. And whilst I'm an acting coach and not a psychologist, this is based on psychology from the holistic psychologist, Dr. Nicole LaPera. And I would recommend you do something similar to this or that what I've just laid out in situations with self-tapes when you start feeling stressed out. So that's the first part. The first part is about the stress and the anxiety. So now let's move on to boundaries. This is really, really, really important because so many of you as early career actors or new actors think you have to take every single self-tape request that is given to you because somewhere along the lines there's a story that floats around in the industry that you'll ruin your reputation, you'll not get any other opportunities if you don't take every opportunity. And I'm here to call that out and say it is absolute bollocks. You do not have to accept every single self-tape request. You absolutely do not. You have to practice something called discernment with your career and the choices that you make in it. You have to discern and ask yourself, is this right for me? There will always be auditions, 100% of the time, because there's always going to be brand new independent filmmakers evolving and breaking out into the industry. There's always going to be an entertainment industry. As humans, we thrive off of entertainment. We need it. So there's always going to be some form of entertainment. Maybe in 10 years' time, Netflix might not be around, but there'll be something else that replaces it. Maybe in 2 years' time, we'll not have Amazon Prime. But again, there'll be something else that replaces it. There's always new dramas being created. There's always new stage plays being created. There's always new theatre companies, film companies, television production companies being created. So don't get stuck in that scarcity, lack mindset of thinking, oh my God, I have to take everything. Practice discernment. Always ask yourself, am I actually able to give my best to this project right now? And do I want it? Is it going to be helpful to my career or is it going to hinder my career? It doesn't matter if you are brand new to acting and you've only just decided yesterday that you're going to pursue an acting career, or whether you're an early career actor who is regularly auditioning and is building your way up. It doesn't matter what level you're at. Every actor on the planet, whether you're in Hollywood or just starting out, should be asking those questions. This is not only about boundaries, this is also about working with personal integrity. So now let's go to these short turnaround self-tapes. As I've already said earlier on in the episode, this is very, very, very rare where you would get a 2-hour turnaround period from beginning to end. However, if someone is asking you for a short turnaround with a self-tape, if you know you can do it, do it. Obviously, it's your choice, it's your career. I'm not here to say you should or you shouldn't one way or another. But I would ask you to question the integrity of the company. And I would also ask you to ask for an extension. If you think the project is good, you've done your due diligence, you've looked up the production company, they seem legit, they seem really, on the ball, just for whatever reason, something's happened where there's a short time period, I'd ask for an extension. I absolutely would. There's nothing wrong in asking for it. If you don't ask, you don't know. And that's how you practice getting confident. Confidence comes from doing. You absolutely will not develop a bad reputation for yourself just by asking, look, I'd really love to. I'm very invested in the story and the character. It all sounds great and I'd love to show you what I'm capable of. However, I do need a little bit more time. Could you extend the deadline by 24 hours, 48 hours? If they say no, they say no. Move on. On to the next one. There'll be plenty more auditions. And don't ever fall for anybody's manipulation or lies if they do try telling you that you're being difficult. You're not. You're absolutely not, and you won't get blacklisted. Any human with a moral compass and an understanding that acting isn't currently a full-time job and that you are also doing a full-time job to fund your acting career would accept this. They would accept that you need a little bit longer. Anyone without a moral compass is simply using bullying tactics. And if I'm being honest, that's not the type of person you'd really want to work for anyway, is it? Because if they're like that so early on with self-tapes, what are they going to be like to work with? Again, I'm not here to say one way or another what you should be doing because it's your choice, it's your career. You are an actor with autonomy. I'm just giving you both sides so you can make an informed decision. It's just my stance on it. So you decide what is best for you. Now, the other side to this is, and there is a flip side to everything because everything's nuanced. If all actors do keep saying yes to short turnarounds with self-tapes, we are collectively allowing ourselves to be shafted. And what I mean by that is we're allowing it to continue. We are enabling this shitty behaviour. It's just something for you to consider. Again, I'm not telling you one way or another what you should do. You have to make that decision. But what I would encourage you to do is get clear on what your boundaries are. Boundaries are the limits to which you can work at. Now, I know personally, I can do a self-tape with life and everything that's going on in life if I have 3 days' notice. So that is the absolute minimum that I expect for me, Louise, as an actress. And I'm thinking with my actress hat on. The reason 3 days minimum is what I expect is because it gives me a chance to organise my life. It gives me a chance to shift things around. It gives me a chance to do the prep and feel confident with it. And it also gives me a chance to get the lines down and really throw myself into this character and deliver a good standard of work, a good quality of work, because I don't want to be putting shit out there on self-tapes. Self-tapes are there forever. You don't know when they're going to resurface further down the line. I don't want to be putting bad quality work out there. So they are my boundaries, 3 days minimum. That doesn't mean that has to be your boundary. Maybe you need 5 days as a minimum. Here's the thing though, if you are quite early in your acting career, you're not going to know how long you need until you start doing self-tapes regularly and you start getting into a little routine with them. So if you are brand new and maybe you've never done a self-tape before or you've done a few but not that many, ask yourself realistically what you'd need. Now, I don't mean this means you have to be a diva and go, oh no, I'm not doing anything unless I've got 2 weeks notice. Like, we know the acting industry is not going to work on that because there is a quick turnaround with things and it can be quite unorganised at times. But realistically, what do you need? Is 3 days something you can work to, or 5 days, or a week? Just get clear in your head what you would need. Now, if you are an early career actor or a new actor, to help you become super confident with self-tapes and to make sure you are approaching them with the right tools so you can just whiz through them in a way where you are going to produce high quality work and you are going to stand a chance of getting recalled and getting cast. We've got a class inside the Method Actor Circle. You've heard me talk about it at the beginning. It's a monthly membership that gives you access to different classes. And so one of those classes is the Audition Zone. And this is a brilliant, brilliant class because when you get a self-tape request, you bring that audition piece to the Audition Zone and I prep it with you. So you're not having to spend hours upon hours trying to second guess what you need to do. So I'll watch the piece, I'll give you feedback, I'll tell you what's working, and then I'll tell you where you're actually not connecting. And I will give you 2 specific exercises you need to be able to confidently connect to the piece. And the great thing is every Audition Zone class is recorded and it's added into the student portal. So you can see how other actors have been coached before you joined, and you can follow along and do the exercises I've given them with their audition pieces. And you can also watch your own audition back that I've coached you with so you can see the before and after. And obviously you never miss a thing because you can watch it back and see how I've coached you through the exercise so you can use it yourself before you actually hit record. So if you know you'd get a lot from having an outside eye on your self-tapes before you submit them, and you know you'd get a lot from being helped and coached and guided through an audition so you absolutely feel focused and relaxed and confident, then definitely come and join the Method Actor Circle. As I've already said, I've left the link underneath the episode for you, or you can just type it in Google, bit.ly/the Method Actor Circle. And as I've already said, it's £27 a month and you get more than one class in there. You get character development class, and next month we've got a casting director workshop as well, so you get that as well. That would be very useful for you because you're going to get a casting director's feedback on your self-tapes too. So let's move into time management then. Time management is very important. As I said, my students who work with me, they've been bringing this up quite a lot, trying to figure out like, how do I manage everything, especially because we live in such a fast-paced world right now. Everything can seem overwhelming, can't it? It can seem like our to-do lists are never ending, they never get completed, and then a self-tape's thrown in the mix, and then the parrots shouting swear words behind me when I'm trying to record, and my God, what do I do? #overwhelm central. So to keep stress and anxiety at bay, it is absolutely crucial that you get into a rhythm and a routine for when you get those self-tape requests. So what I would recommend doing is creating a checklist of all the things you need to do in the exact order so you can absolutely follow it along to the T, almost like it's a roadmap. So that would include things like the character prep. So list out everything you need to do for the character prep. What's non-negotiable that you have to do with the character prep for every single self-tape that gets you feeling confident, calm, at ease and connected. Then make a list of what the non-negotiable exercises are that you know you need to do to get you away from the nerves and telling the character's story truthfully. List those out. They would be the second things. Then also list out what you have to do with the self-tape itself technically. So things like setting the camera up, getting your ring light, making sure you've got a clear background, a plain background. So you've got this little roadmap that you can follow along. When you've got that and it's actually written out, and you can stick it on your fridge, or you could stick it in an acting folder, you could download it, put it on your phone so you can just access it easily. You just follow it step by step and automatically you're already feeling more relaxed and confident because you've got this list that you're following. Now, another thing to help you with time management is have everything have everything that you need technically for your self-tape in a designated area. So for me, it's not a basket, it kind of is like a little wicker basket that's got a lid on it, and all my self-tape equipment lives in there, and it lives under my bed, and it is close by to where I do the self-tapes because I do them in my bedroom. So I've got a perfect plain wall where I do the self-tapes in my bedroom. All I need to do is just pull the basket out from underneath the bed and get everything set up. And these little switches will help you tremendously because they're helping you stay organised, they're helping you stay on top of your time management, which in turn is keeping the stress and the panic at bay. So it's just little things like that are a huge help. So as I've already mentioned earlier, we are currently enrolling actors into the Method Actor Circle, and self-tapes are one part of what we do to help you become an unstoppable actor in there, beyond what I can even do with you in this podcast. So if you like my style, if you're interested in method acting, or you love method acting and you want to become more disciplined and you want to get yourself into a good frame of mind and a good flow and a good work ethic with your self-tapes, then definitely come and join the Method Actor Circle either on or before February the 29th, which is when the doors close, and that's the deadline for being able to get access to that casting director workshop too. So I'm just going to make it clear again, it's £27 for 3 classes, and then you've got access to all the previously recorded classes as well. So go and check it out. I want to coach you. I want to help you build your acting career. I want to help you do it one self-tape at a time, one role at a time. And as always, I hope you found this episode useful. I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.